Hi, good evening, and welcome to the school committee meeting of Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. I'd like to welcome everyone and call the meeting to order. We're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're going to read the mission statement. The vision of the Wakefield Public Schools is to graduate students who are confident, lifelong learners, who are respectful and caring members of their community. Our mission is to prepare students for college, career, and community by providing rich and challenging curriculum, high-quality instruction, and educational experiences that meet their individual needs and interests. I think we have a student with us virtually. Did I screw that? Oh, hold on. While we're getting that student, is there anyone here for public comment? Either in studio or on Zoom? No. Okay. While we wait for the student, we have a wonderful audience tonight. We're going to meet some of them in a little bit. So thank you all for coming. Yeah. Want to do the consent agenda? Thank you.
Move that the school committee approve the minutes of the school committee meeting of August 22nd, 2023, and the school committee retreat of August 22nd, 2023, and accept the minutes of the school committee student services subcommittee meeting of August 29th, 2023, and the school committee policy and communications subcommittee meeting of August 31st, 2023, as presented.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor? Opposed? Passes unanimously. Just note that Ms. Colleran isn't with us tonight. She's traveling for work, and Mr. Markham is on his way. So, should we do some budget items?
Our student advisors.
Oh, really?
Is ready.
Okay.
We have Ahmed with us tonight, who'll be joining via Zoom just to give an update.
Okay.
Ahmed, can you join us?
Does Judy have any update?
Ryan, can you hear us? We're ready for Ahmed to get a student update. I hear someone there.
Ahmed is online, but he hasn't unmuted.
They're just working on Zoom. So while we're working on Zoom, maybe we can go to budget.
Sure. Christine?
Sure. Good evening,
Hello?
everyone. So,
Oh, what?
You got him. He came up mute.
He did?
well, I'll just jump into
Okay.
the financial report you have tonight in front of you in your packet is for the months of July and August. So it's for the summer months. As you can see, we don't have payroll encumbrances yet because we wait till September when all the staff are back and we encumber all salaries for the rest of the year. So you'll see that next month with the September packet. But this is to cover year-round salaries and summer school. And you can see we can start spending really happens. It really kicks up in August to start buying supplies and encumber utilities for the year. So that's like kind of the big activity for August. And then you can see our grants. We are applying for our entitlement grants. That means Title I, the SPED, IDEA, and the Title II-A grants are being submitted to the state. So we'll probably have those up and running by the beginning of October. We're still spending down our ESSER 3. We have until next September, September of '24, to spend down that $495,000. We've really targeted that money for paraprofessionals and for improvements to our HVAC systems. So that's going down pretty quickly. And the last page is the revolving accounts. So this is really the last month before school starts, so you kind of really just see the balances carry forward from the prior year, school lunch, Wakefield Academy, circuit breaker. So that was the leftover amount, almost one full year of circuit breaker tuitions that we're carrying forward. That's really our safety net in case of new out-of-district tuitions that we hadn't budgeted for. So we're really fortunate to have that amount because we get reimbursed quarterly from the state for circuit breaker. So that won't come in probably until October for the first quarter. So that's kind of like what we're standing to end the summer months for our finances. Does anyone have any questions? Stephen?
On the line 2 under revolving accounts,
Mhm.
under cable TV production,
So that funds two of our teaching staff here at the high school.
Mhm.
The production, I think it's Jonathan and Chris who run two really great classes here.
Mhm.
But that money, it's generated, it's listed here in revolving accounts, but it's generated from our cable providers in town. So
Okay.
Comcast. So we get a portion, what's collected by the town, and they allocate that amount of money to fund those two teaching staff positions for us.
great. I was curious on the difference between just 1 year ago today, our balance was just a drop of that. Is that because those had already been paid out, or is that this was new?
Or the amount hadn't been given to us from the town, or then what, we might have encumbered those salaries last August, but we typically wait until September to do that. But the 170 will cover those two teaching staff for this year.
Thank you.
No, that's a great question. As we know, with streaming services, people aren't using cable as much anymore. So we're hoping to see that sustained in order to save those two salaries in the budget. But that's sort of where we stand for the finances. And then we have the August payrolls for your vote.
I was reading. Move that the school committee approve payroll warrants 6 and 8 as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor? No opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
You're not done? One
No,
minute.
no gifts.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Ahmed is ready.
Okay, great.
Ahmed, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry, can you guys hear me now?
We
We
can.
can. Be
Yeah,
great
sorry, I just had some mic issues.
if we could see you.
It's like,
No, so something's going on with my computer where like the camera and mic are weird, but hopefully you guys can still hear me.
We can still hear you. Go for it.
we could have Judy.
All right.
Like,
So my name's Ahmed Othman. I'm a junior student representative. This is going to be my first year as student representative. And before I started with my quick update, I just wanted to let you guys know that the other student reps couldn't be here because two of them have band and one of them has a soccer game, but they really did want to be here. So as you guys know, the high school is in its second week now, and all classes have been going on pretty well, and school is back in session along with sports, and extracurriculars are starting to start up again for the new school year. There have been really no major issues inside the school, and it seems like students are excited to get back into the new school year.
Great. Are you participating in any fall activities?
Yeah, I'm in a couple clubs, and I'm getting ready for my winter and spring sports.
Great. What clubs are you in, Ahmed?
I'm in the recycling club and the social interact club at Wakefield High, along with Scholarship Foundation, as a student director and as secretary this year.
Good. I'm sure we will see you soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
We look forward to it. Thank you so much
Alright.
for being here tonight.
Thank you.
does anyone have any questions? No?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. With the permission of the chair, I'm going to take our agenda items out of order so that we can welcome the elementary, pre-K and elementary principals to introduce new staff members this year. This is a practice that would like to start in our next meeting. We welcome our secondary principals, middle school and high school, to introduce their new staff. So the table's a little crowded. I think we could probably have, 2 up at a time, if that can work. I mean, we could probably have 4 chairs at the table if you just have 2 speakers. Right, we ad-lib pretty well here. Just rearranging the furniture in the studio. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so flexible.
All right, so I'll start. I'm Shannon Blacker, the principal at the Doyle Early Childhood Center, and I have new hire here to my right, Olivia Zeno. She is our new speech and language therapist.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Matt Carter. So I have 5 new hires. 3 of them could not be here tonight, so I will mention them. I have Danielle Massey in kindergarten. I have Patrice Hennihan in 2nd grade. I have Kristen Green is a stack adjustment counselor, so that's one of our therapeutic programs at Woodville. And then I have 2 of them here in person. I have Jess Conley. Jess Conley is a 3rd grade teacher for us. And I have Evan Burns. Evan is our library media teacher at Woodville.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys.
And then Matt and I share a new pre-K teacher who couldn't be with us tonight. Her name is Ashley Newbegin.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Thank you so much for being here tonight. How did the first couple days go?
Good, yeah. Yeah, it's my first year teaching actually, so it was kind of a big step, but it was good. Yeah, I have a good group of kids.
Good.
I mean, this is my first time being hired as a teacher, but I've been a bit of a journeyman around the Wakefield education. I started at the high school 2 years ago now, and I actually momentarily left over the summer. I found a new job, and Matt gave me a call 3 weeks into my new job, and I hung up the phone. I quit my job and was like, yes, I am coming back to the Woodville. So I'm glad to be back, and the first week has been incredible. So.
That's awesome.
I think we're very happy to have you back, Evan.
I've loved the first week also. It's my first job out of grad school, but I wanted to work with this age group really badly. So I'm having a great time. The kids are so cute. So
Trying to figure out schedules.
yes.
It's fun.
Trying to fit everything in, I'm sure. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. This is the first test. Can we transition the teams? Back and forth.
Good evening, everyone. I'm TJ Liberti, the principal at Dahlberg School. We have 2 new science teachers that split between the Dahlberg and the Walton, a K-2 and a 3-4. Carrie Tyrell is our grades 3 and 4 science teacher, and Victoria Washburn is our new K-2 science teacher, and we're super excited to have both of them on board and joining our Wakefield family.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My name's Tiffany Back. I'm the principal at Greenwood. We have 2 new hires at Greenwood. Unfortunately, neither one of them were able to be here tonight. It's kind of funny. We said journeyman. One of them, Caitlin Sartori, she's a Greenwood alum, and we hired her as a long-term sub teacher in 4th grade, but she's also been a long-term sub for us in kindergarten. She's actually done a different long-term sub in 4th grade, and she's worked for Wakefield Academy as well. So we were delighted to bring her on for the whole fall semester. And then we brought in a new PE teacher this year. Tyler Kelleher has joined us as our PE teacher over at Greenwood, and he also spends a little bit of time at Dahlberg, but mostly at Greenwood.
That's great.
And I'm Brian Schmidt. I'm the principal at Walton. And we had a busy summer and spring at Walton. We had 3 hires who were new to Wakefield. TJ introduced Kerry and Victoria, who's not here. And also we have a new 3rd grade teacher. She's not able to be here tonight, but her name is Ariana Chabot. New to Wakefield, new to being a lead teacher, and she's off to a great start. So, yeah.
Great. And the first couple days on how did it go?
It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky. I've taught for a while now, but it seems like the students really love science, so I'm very lucky to be the science teacher.
That's good. That's good.
Can I ask a question? Of course. So the science model in elementary, there were 2 teachers. Are there now 4 teachers?
So there are 4 teachers now. Yep.
Okay.
So we have 2 teachers.
So the 2 are still here, or no?
Well, so there was some transitioning that happened. 2 of our science specialists took classroom teaching positions this year.
Okay.
Lindsay Bello went to kindergarten at the Woodville, and Grace Gleason went to 1st grade at Walton.
Okay.
And then at 3rd, Jocelyn Sheehan took a classroom teaching position in another district.
Okay.
So we had 3 new hires this year. Am I getting this right?
Yep.
Yes.
And so now we have 2 science teachers that teach grades 3 and 4, and 2 that teach K through 2
Okay,
across
so
the 4 schools.
4 total.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, we
Great.
had that last year. The first year, the science model rolled
Okay.
out, we only had the
Okay.
3rd and 4th grade
And that's
teachers.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so a lot of groundwork. It helps with the hiring that happened over the summer, that we were able to lay a lot of groundwork in terms of curriculum and lesson planning and all of this, scheduling, getting into the group, because it was a brand new position 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of startup that was needed.
Yeah.
So
And I
you should
remember
be in
they
a
had
good position. yeah.
carts. Do they still have carts, or they kind of
Still have carts.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
They're decorated.
They light up. They light up. Yeah.
They're very
But I
nice.
think that's
Fall theme right
I think that's exciting for the kids when the car comes in. They're like, "Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
science
Yeah.
time!"
Yes.
What's on the car?
They get really excited.
They do.
Yeah, it's a fun position.
Better than the ice cream truck.
It is better.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
So I do think kids are genuinely excited for science. So I think you're in a good space there.
Yeah, Kevin.
I just want to say, this is such a great idea. It's one of those things like, why haven't we ever done this before? So, good job, Dr. Lyons and Amy, if you were involved in this. You know, we created the opportunity to kind of wish our retiring teachers well. So, what a great idea to like be welcoming teachers into the system. So, I just want to extend my welcome. As well as I think you've seen from the journeyman examples, that I think it's a great place to work, and we're really blessed. Pete and I were talking earlier. We got here a little early, and we're just really blessed with a phenomenal faculty and staff and leadership. And I hope that this is just the beginning of a very long career here. I love seeing the alum, as an alum, come back and teach in the district. So welcome back or into your new positions, and welcome to Wakefield if you don't have a connection previously. But I hope it's the start of a great career. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thanks for the idea. It's
Of
awesome.
course. So for those that are here in the audience or at the table now, if you're doing anything fun in your class, or we always invite people back to talk about what's happening at your schools. We welcome students back. It's often a great way for us to really see firsthand and stay really focused on what the work is, right? And so it's a reminder for us, all of the amazing things that happen, as Kevin said. And of course, if we can help with anything, don't hesitate to reach out. So we genuinely appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
So you're welcome to stay.
Or go.
Or go.
Everyone was really quick on that.
Oh my goodness. So just an update about the elementary science positions. So 4 years ago, when we negotiated the teacher contract, what we had agreed to was adding science specialists. But we brought on 2, and then we delayed the bringing on of the other 2 because of COVID.
Yep.
Right? So it's just kind of a cost-saving measure to wait until we had kind of got to the other side of COVID, and then we brought them on, and they've been so great, and they're so excited. as soon as positions have opened, they've moved into other positions. So they're, you know, Kara and her team have been amazing recruiting, but they keep moving into other positions and matriculating throughout the district, which is a blessing and a challenge. But yeah, so, but we have, just to report to the committee, we have 22 new teachers this year. And you'll meet our secondary teachers at middle and high in the next meeting. But that number's, for the size of our district and the number of faculty and staff that we have, it's a pretty, it's not a high number, right? And so it's always hard to really recruit the ranks and find really talented people, but I think the principals, by and large, have done that. I think their goals are to find, you know, core value match first, and then kind of fill in the rest. We've seen teachers, I've never seen teachers working as hard as they have this year, prepping their classrooms. And I've also seen for the first time this year, a Wakefield alum back teaching in kindergarten had a moving truck, moving because she was teaching in another district, but they had a moving truck having everything. Yeah, and it was brilliant. It was really great. And
Her classroom looks beautiful.
Her classroom
We need to
looks,
have like a slideshow of classrooms.
Yeah.
it's
It was a
and
good
so
walk through.
really
Oh, yeah, we do.
a lot of positive stuff, a lot of excitement. Which if it's okay, I'll jump down to my
Oh,
age.
I just have one question.
Of
Are there
course.
any positions still open that we're seeking?
You're stealing my thunder here
Oh.
because I was going to give just an HR update.
Oh, sure.
Right now we have 14 positions that are open. 6 of those positions are para-educator positions. Only one of the positions is a teaching position, and that's for a long-term sub position.
Okay.
So we're in pretty good space. We have, you know, food service. We're looking at a medical position at the middle school level. We're looking for a speech language pathologist and a counselor. But we're in a good space, you know, and speech language pathology was a very difficult position to fill, and Shannon introduced her new speech language person this evening, which is amazing that she was able to find somebody. But the principals have really networked really well together, internally in the district, but also with other districts that they have colleagues working in, and so they've been able to hire really well. So that's a quick update, both in regard to new teachers and the HR update. Happy to answer any questions that anyone might have about that.
I should have asked Matt, but the second pre-K class, everything's good and
Yep, it's up and running.
up and running.
Yep, and so just to let everybody know, there's last year we did a pilot and had a pre-K classroom that we opened at Woodville, and so we've decided to expand that to have an additional class, just because our pre-K numbers were just busting at the seams. And one of our projects this winter is to try to collaborate with the town to figure out how we might be able to either get a modular at Doyle or try to expand that space so that they can do a really more effective job providing therapies and support for students at the pre-K level. So that's an update there.
Thank you.
How big is the current pre-K wait list?
I don't have that number right now.
Approximately. I mean, I didn't know if it was still large or if it's smaller with the second class.
The wait list that you say?
Yeah.
I don't have that number. I think it's smaller. I think we're full, you know, well, not full. We can take whatever comes, right? But because we have to. But I think our wait list right now for regular ed pre-K, I want to say is probably around 30. Okay. But I think a lot of those families have matriculated to other programs. Yeah. So, but I can give you a number in the next meeting.
Thank you.
Kevin?
I just wanted to say that for those that don't know, there's been a huge amount of teacher and paraprofessional turnover all across the state of Massachusetts. So I think districts across the state have been dealing with you know, an incredible rush to try to hire and fill the positions. And I think that, yeah, I think we've done a great job. I think you've done a great job in, you know, filling all these positions. Because I just know in my district and other districts, you know, this has definitely been an issue with a huge amount of turnover. So nice job getting all these positions filled.
Thank you. I don't know if you have anything to add there, Kara, about HR and staff.
No, I was just trying to find the preschool waitlist numbers, but I couldn't. Yeah, I'll get that to you. But I think that what you said, the second class really helped to get them down. I think that at one point they were high enough to prompt us to want to get the other class going, but we can get you that. No, but I disagree with what everyone said. It's been a great summer recruiting all of our new hires. It's really exciting to see them all settling in. We have a great mentor program, so they have a lot of support. So it's been a good start.
I'm curious, Kara, do we know, I mean, I know everyone's story is different. Some have Wakefield connections, some don't. But other than just our awesome staff who helped recruit them, is there something special that drove these teachers to Wakefield, if you know?
That's a great question. I don't know specifically each one. A lot of the hires, we haven't really been involved in the interview process. They're more building-based hires. But I know that we do try to, like Doug said, network with other districts. We use School Spring, internal connections. We have a lot of people internally who share our postings, that sort of thing. But I think overall it's just a really desirable place to work. I think we get, like Kevin said, with the amount of shortages that we have or are hearing about in other districts, we still get a strong number of applicants to be able to do a really thorough process, which is great. I don't feel like even we were hiring up until the end of August, and I don't think anyone felt like, all right, let's just hire this person. Everyone felt like, I'm really excited about this person. This person's going to bring a lot to our district, and that's where we want to be.
And no, I think that's awesome that we're finding the right personalities and matches, because those are the types of teachers we really want to have in the district.
Absolutely. And we're also more than willing to do things that we haven't done before. So we've advertised in some different places. I know Christine has worked with some of the principals, and we've actually considered bringing in an agency for some very, very difficult to fill positions. And we worked very hard to really do that, to find a hard to fill position, and we ended up not needing it because someone had a relationship with someone else. A position was open, they came and interviewed, and it was really a nice match.
Yes, we were fortunate.
We're very fortunate, and so we're really lucky. We're really lucky. So, which is kind of a nice opportunity for me to transition to kind of my updates and just to share a little bit with the community or with you, you all, about what it was like, just kind of what the first day was like. So, contrary to the popular belief that administrators don't work in the summer, so summer is arguably our busiest time, and I know Tom's smiling because he's a school administrator as well, right? And so summer is arguably our busiest time, in terms of finance. Christine is working all summer doing the end of year report and prepping to kind of turn things over. Kara's working with her curriculum team. They're planning professional development. And so behind each person are, tens of people that are working to make it all work. But opening day for us, we opened on September 5th. And that's the first day that all of our faculty and staff are together in one place at one time. And it's kind of it's a big deal for us. And it's certainly a big deal for me. This is like, you're speaking in front of the whole group, you're setting the tone for the year. And this is something that we work really hard at. We don't just wing it. We kind of after we open, we start planning almost a full year in advance, right? And so this year we went kind of back and forth. Should we have a guest speaker? Should we have someone else come in? And last year we had, I think, a very successful opening. We had a student Zoom in who was an EL student and also a METCO student come in and talk about her experience, or Zoomed in and talked about her experience, and really about teachers that made such a difference for her. And this year, my remarks were very brief. I really wanted to just, add a little bit of perspective and tone for teachers in our community, just to say, we, the administrators, are grateful to be here. We're lucky to be here. We're very well supported by our community. We're getting a new high school. The community has come out really in overwhelming numbers to support the new high school and the work that's happening here. So I think we need to honor that and really think about the opportunities that we've been given. But also we need to acknowledge the challenges. It's really hard to work in public education. It's hard to be a teacher. It's hard to be a school administrator. One of the themes that's really important to me in this time of division, where it's like it's become a cottage industry to divide and disrupt in the politics of all of this. But, you know, the reality is that so go one of us, so go all of us. When a student is having an off day or not getting what they need, it reflects on all of us. It's our business. This is what we do. And our leverage is teaching children. And so, you know, we talk a lot about this in opening school. We also took the opportunity to recognize our veteran faculty in our opening. And so we have 3 employees that have over 4 decades of work here in this district, not just in education, but in this district, you know. And so, and to watch the faculty respond to those persons, you know, they are Bev Elsowitz, Ellie Isayan, and Florence Martin. And Florence couldn't be there during opening day, but they received a standing ovation and were kind of welcomed by the group in a way that I hadn't seen before. So I think that it was really an important day to kind of recognize staff that have been here and that have been so committed to children. But we also took the opportunity to transition, and we did something that we've never, ever done before. We actually had a student panel. We invited 5 students, 5 seniors in high school, to speak to the audience, all of our faculty and staff. So in the audience is not just teachers, not just paraeducators, but this is all of our bargaining units, our traffic supervisors, our food service personnel, our custodians. This is everybody. We have almost 600 people in this group. And so one of our students unfortunately couldn't be there, Lauren Manginelli, who you know from as a school committee ambassador. She couldn't be there. She was ill the day of, so couldn't make it and was heartbroken. But we welcomed 4 other students. We welcomed Hawa, Umu, Dylan, and Izzy, and they we just provided some prompts, and myself and Jess Cummings, the WA president, facilitated the group. But it was really great to hear from the students, and I invited some students this evening just to share a little bit with with the committee about what their perspective was. And so, Ryan, do we have students on? I saw a moment ago, I think that they were there.
Yes, sir. They should be here in just a moment.
Doug, while you're waiting, I mean, I had the opportunity to see that opening event. It was my first time with having that opportunity, and I was brought to tears by a couple of the students on that panel. Just hearing the difference our teachers had made in their life was incredible. The Galvin was completely packed. Just seeing everyone in district in one place was amazing. And then you haven't talked about the concert yet that we got, which was the chorus singers who were there. Many Galvin students and maybe a couple of rising 9th graders. So it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Howard, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You were just
guys
on the
hear me?
screen a moment ago.
I know. Hold on. Let me turn it back on.
Here we go.
Hello. You guys see me? Oh, okay. Hi. Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We were joking earlier on email. I was saying that now that you all are celebrities, after speaking to the entire faculty, what has it been like? And so I'm wondering if you can share with the school committee what the experience was like for you.
Yeah. So when Mr. Lyons emailed us about like wanting us to go onto the panel, I was a little shocked. I was like, us? Why would he pick us out of all the students, all the other students that he could have picked? But going on to the student panel was actually such a great experience because it really made me understand the type of impact students had on teachers just as much as they have on us. And I feel like I was able to express to them that type of impact they had. And for coming from us, like Black MECO students, we met so many different teachers that we had such a great experience on it. I don't think we expressed it to them enough how much we really appreciated it. Because growing up, we really had a rough journey. Like from 1st grade to now, like I could really say like thank God for everything that we've experienced because it kind of made us to who we are. And that's all thanks to the teacher that we also had. So I was really glad we was able to go onto the panel and express to them like what our needs are and what we also appreciate them for.
It was also a blessing be able to see them one last time before you all graduate.
Yeah, because some of the teachers we haven't seen, like our elementary school teachers. So
Yeah.
standing there before the panel, we were just standing there just giving hugs to like tens and tens of teachers. Like
It was
my
so
cheeks
nice.
were hurting.
It was
But
so
yeah.
nice. My jaw was hurting. My smiling.
It was a good experience.
It was
of being
so
able
nice.
to see our
It was a blessing.
elementary, being able to see our elementary teachers.
I saw my first grade teacher. Like, I was not expecting that. She didn't recognize me, but I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. So
Yeah, it was genuinely fun. I would do it again.
I would do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can keep that going for sure.
But yeah, it was a great experience.
It was a great experience.
That's good. And so, in talking with your other panelists, with Izzy and with Dylan, what do you think their kind of take on it was?
We haven't been able to speak to Dylan because I don't know why. He's like the Flash. I just see him and then
he hits the dash.
Yeah, like
Time
just
to
like
go.
the panel, we wasn't able to talk to him at all. So I haven't really seen him. I seen him at lunch a couple times, but he was with his friends, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
But generally, like with Izzy, we spoke about it. We all really loved the whole experience, even though it was a little nerve-wracking speaking in front of all those teachers. At the end of the day, we all knew them, like knew most of them.
You knew most of them,
So
yeah.
it made it a little less scary. But generally, we thought it was a good experience, and we would do it again. 10 out of 10.
Great.
I got to repeat myself again because I didn't know you were listening when I was speaking. You ladies are incredible. You brought me to
Thank
tears
you.
when you're up there just talking about the impact these teachers have had. And I don't know either of you, and my first time seeing both of you in that panel, but I know both of you have very bright futures ahead, and I was just blown away by both of you up there. Thank you.
Thank
you
I
so much.
appreciate that.
So, because you spoke on the opening day for teachers, have you gotten any feedback from faculty that were present?
Yeah.
Just a little.
A little.
No.
Sliding.
It's like I'm a
All my
small
teachers,
celebrity in
for
Wakefield.
example, all my
I gotta walk around with the pen, so just for some
Sign
off. No, but actually, like everybody's had kind words. Like I'm walking around. Like,
Everybody already know our
names.
names. All our teachers
Yeah.
already know our
Everybody,
names.
yeah.
I go into class. Humu, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Everybody's like always complimenting us, and so now I guess everybody pretty much knows our faces. So
Yeah.
Well,
that's great because we have a little sister in Woodville, so
Yeah.
it's nice to like for let it be a little bit easier when she's getting older.
Right,
to
that's
assist
true.
them. So yeah.
So, you guys did a great job, and the compliments are well deserved. So,
Thank you.
we don't want to keep you, but maybe you could come to a meeting in person and
Oh,
share
yeah.
and share some more. And we
Of course,
haven't.
Let us know.
Just let us know.
Okay, we will let you know.
Let us
And
know.
we need to talk. There's a podcast lab down here, that I think you would like to see, right?
Yes.
Don't tempt me.
100%.
All
Yeah,
right.
we definitely want to see that.
So we will see you soon, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
So it's interesting in our debrief after they spoke, we grabbed something to eat. I grabbed something to eat with the students, and as much as the sisters, they're twins, right? And so they shared a highlight from them, something that they didn't expect is they said it was really great just to get so many hugs, right? Like the things that you don't know how they'll resonate or what they'll take away. But when we got to some more serious conversation, one of the things that they shared that they're worried about is that they said they had one another, and they've always been able to rely on one another. They're applying to colleges together, and so they're likely going to be attending the same college. But one of their concerns is, their sister, who's in elementary school, and they wanted to talk more about that and talk more about how we could improve communication and access and opportunities for kids to do what they just did. so that they don't feel isolated or alone. And so, yeah, so there's a lot more work to be done and a lot more that we've gotten out of doing this, right? So I love when they say, our teachers get as much from us as we get from them, right? Another comment that one of the students made was, in some of my classes, this is Izzy Morales, who did not mention in speaking, did not mention that he has received a scholarship, a full scholarship to any school that he wants to attend. Yes. And so just didn't mention it because he doesn't think much about it, but he shared in his comments to the group, to our faculty and staff, in classes that I've had where I haven't really liked the subject matter or haven't understood it, I can usually figure it out and do pretty well, if I know the teacher kind of has my back or if I have a relationship with them. And so it's really great to hear that. And again, I know all of the administrators and all the teachers, there were people, as Pete said, that were a little choked up, myself included, right? And so, but it's a reminder of the importance of this work of public education. And as important as the work of public education and teaching is just the love and care that we provide and the relationships that we have with our students. And so it was a great reminder for us and a great way for us to start the year, as evidenced by the girls that were here tonight. And so please, my remarks pale in comparison to just listening to them talk. But thank you for listening to me talk about that. Just moving down, just an update. Our first day when we welcome students back, because day one with teachers, I think, was very powerful. When we welcome kids back, I think they were welcomed with open arms, and I think that we've really been able to keep that momentum. And that's it for my just opening of school update. I know that Kara was going to talk just a little bit about professional development that we did in the first couple days.
Yeah, I was just going
briefly.
to give a brief update. We're in the process of finalizing our professional development plan for the year, so I can give a more in-depth update on that at an upcoming meeting. But yeah, we were busy. The first day, like Doug mentioned, it was all about the welcome back. Principals hosted faculty meetings in their buildings, and then we wanted to ensure time for our teachers to prep in their rooms and do their own preparations. But the second day was a really heavy focus on curriculum and just getting prepared in that way with professional development, so the teachers had everything that they needed to get going from a curriculum standpoint. So we had curriculum updates across the district, whether it was through virtual curriculum updates or department meetings, and then we had some specific professional development as well. I'll just highlight a couple of them. At our elementary level, we're coming off of our ELA review, which you all know, so we did want to kick off the year in a positive way there. So we had, we've contracted in Hill for Literacy to do some of our professional development throughout the year, focused on science of reading and foundational skills. So they did a really great session with our general ed teachers on ideas for small group instruction related to foundations, which I think was really well received, and again, responsive to some of the feedback we got through the ELA review in terms of what teachers need to help to be successful moving forward. So that was a virtual series that we ran. We also did some training. I helped facilitate the training with the paraprofessionals, and then Val Drynan and Michelle Lebrecq helped facilitate at the same time training with reading specialists, ESL teachers, principals on DIBBLES, which is our it meets the criteria for our dyslexia screener, but it will be what we're using as a screening tool at our elementary level 3 times a year. And we're increasing our, historically, there was kind of inconsistencies around screening, and we've made a commitment to screen all kids 3 times a year. Even if they're reading at a proficient level, we just want to make sure that we're continuing to mark progress. So we need a little bit more manpower on those assessment teams. So we just provided some initial familiarize yourself with the tool training on Dibbles. It's now all digital. It's been around for years, but now we have it on Amplify, which is a digital tool. The student doesn't do it on the computer. They have a piece of paper in front of them, and then the administrator does it digitally. So we wanted to familiarize people with that. There's still a lot of planning that needs to happen around that, but I think that was a good use of people's time there. And then a huge initiative coming off of the ELA review at our secondary level was we started up Empower training. We found that our writing scores, our just written instruction across the board was an area that we needed to target and improve. So the ELA review team had made a recommendation at the end of last year to move forward with training all of our ELA and social studies teachers on the Empower writing program so that we have consistency in terms of approach and language across all of those classes, which we think we're going to see huge returns on with student growth. So this was just the initial training on brain frames, which is more of like a focus on graphic organizer, different types of ways to help students organize their writing. And we got pretty good feedback. It was a full training, and now this will then trickle into the school year with half days and department meetings, all headed up. Special thanks to Margaret Messier, our ELA coordinator, and Jason Pavey, our social studies coordinator, who helped to plan that. So it was really busy. There was a lot going on in different pockets, and I'm missing some things too because everybody had something going on. All of our other curriculum coordinators, directors, special ed staff were all engaged in other curriculum planning type planning throughout the day as well. It was a busy day, but a good kickstart.
Thank you, Kara.
If there's questions, I can answer them.
One of the things that I just want to make note of that Kara brought up is this idea of progress monitoring students regardless of where they are. And so it's not an uncommon practice if a student tests on grade level so that for that student not to be progress monitored again after they reach that grade level mark. And I think that I appreciate, and one of the changes that we're trying to make here is, so you've heard us talk about we need to make a commitment to our advanced learners just as much as we need to make a commitment to our vulnerable learners. And so the notion of continuing to progress monitor students that might be at grade level or above grade level is an important thing to do. And so, that is one, I think, of many things and ways that we're thinking about really continuing to track how well students are doing, and not just topping kids out early and just saying, oh, they're an advanced learner, so all things will take care of itself there because they're an advanced learner, because it's not always the case. But I appreciate Kara's comments and that and her attention to that, and also with her team, because they've made, and I've said this before, and I'll just say it one more time and I'll leave it, but the governance structure in regard to curriculum that we have in the district is not common, it is unique, and it makes a difference. And so, thank you so much for that.
I did, just one more thing before I transition. I want, because I think this is a really big thing that's happening at Galvin that I wanted to mention too. More to come. I'm sure Meg Webb will come with her team and present more on it at one point. But Meg ran professional development as well on their WIN block. So formerly Team Time, WIN stands for What I Need. That's currently happening at the elementary level. So she's been working with her team trying to figure out the best way to structure that block that was formerly known as Team Time and just really make it meaningful for students, whether it's in enrichment, intervention, social emotional needs. So she's been doing a lot of work around that, and I know they spent a lot of time that day working on their WIN structure as well. So I just didn't want to leave that out. I'm sure there's more to come.
Yeah, and as a Galvin parent, she did send out an update to us, just explaining a bit about the block and how it would be handled across the different grades. We received that over the past week.
Yeah. So, one of the themes on opening day, both by myself and by our WA president, was communication, right? And we're hoping that, there's a different feeling around the quality of the communication that's coming from the schools and also the amount of communication that's coming from the schools. And so it's something that we're working on, and we'll be able to report more on that in coming meetings. And so my last agenda, I don't know if there's any more questions before I transition.
Go ahead, I just had a quick question. For the writing program PD, Was that K through 12, or did you kind of isolate it?
We
like
ended up,
elementary?
yeah, so because we ended up having to split our ELA review team, K to 4 and then 5 through 12. So right now it's 5 to 12, but one of the things that we liked about this program is, you know, as it gets going and we're starting to see some great things from it at secondary, it is something that could be layered on at the elementary down the road if we decide to go that route. But right now, it will be consistent 5 through 12.
Okay, awesome.
So the last item on the superintendent's agenda is the parent and student handbook. We shared links and a short abbreviated list of some of the changes that have been made. You know, Pete had been asking in prior meetings, you know, if you give me some runway, I'd like to take a look at it. I'd like to be thorough, and thorough he is. I think
It was great.
he's given us some great feedback on not only edits that needed to be made, but also some nice suggestions, so we appreciate that. But the doc that was shared and the links that were shared on those docs, I think one or two things need to be kind of changed that are very, very small. But we are seeking the support of the committee just to kind of use those links as our updated handbooks, and happy to answer any questions that anyone might have on those. And we are seeking your support in a motion to support those so that they can be adopted and kind of changed to turned into PDFs and brought out to school pages.
All right, so we'll make the motion, but then you're going to slightly edit. Is that what you're saying?
There's only
The two edits are really minor. It was just at my request, the school start times were added, and in that we missed the end time at the high school, and it's in there, it just needs to be added in that section.
Yeah.
And then for the Doyle, they've got like a split end time that just needs to be added in there for early release. That was, so it's just two really minor edits.
I would like to make a motion. Move that the school committee approve the Wakefield Memorial High School 2023-2024 program of studies, the Galvin, or otherwise known as the Student Parent Handbook, the Galvin Middle School Student Parent Handbook, as well as the pre-K and elementary schools Student and Parent Handbooks, as presented.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? I just, as far as process, so we approve them, then you'll let the principals know and they'll upload them? Okay. Are we ready to vote? All in favor? None opposed, so it passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it for my agenda this evening. Thank you, everybody.
So now it's to chair comments. I also attended the day one with teachers. It was great. I thought the student panel went well. As Doug mentioned, he had all the staff stand up, and then if you had so many years, you sat down, and at the end there was just Ellie, Bev, and then Elswoods and Miss Usain or Mrs. Usain. And Florence wasn't there, but he did mention Florence, and they did get a standing ovation. It was really nice. Have you ever done that before, to have them all stand up?
We haven't done it quite like that,
Yeah.
but it's a little different, but we've done some similar things in years past.
Yeah, so we all want everyone to be like that. Stay 40 years. That's all I really have for comments and updates. We have a motion for the operating norms and protocols. This is a norms and protocols we review annually at our retreat, and then we sign off on it. So that will be tonight's motion.
Yep. So I would like to make a motion to move that the school committee approve the Wakefield School Committee operating norms and protocols 2023-2024 as presented.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? None opposed. It passes unanimously. Thank you. For teacher negotiations, I am not on the negotiation team, and I don't think that you've met, correct? The next meeting?
No.
So you haven't met since our last meeting.
Correct.
And the next meeting is Monday, September 18th.
Correct.
Okay. I would just like to make a comment that the negotiations team met over the summer. So I just want to thank everyone. I know both teachers, staff, and school committee members that they met a number of times. It's a number of hours, so I appreciate the time, and it just shows that we're moving forward in a positive direction. So thank you. All I have. Subcommittee reports. Finance and Facilities, Mr. Markham.
Unfortunately, we've not been able to meet since our last meeting, because we're trying to establish a date prior to the next meeting, which we will certainly do either next week or the week after at the latest.
Thank you.
Can I add a bit on facilities?
Of course.
With your permission, is that okay?
Well, please.
We do want to let the committee know that the play structure at Walton is complete. They finally got the rubber surface in, and we've gotten many very positive comments and feedback there. Special thanks to Dennis Fazio and Tim O'Brien, and certainly thank you for all the feedback that came from the faculty and staff at Walton, and especially Kathy Cristiano, who I think monitored the progress from start to finish. And so I think it was done well, and it was done, I think, as quickly as it could have been done. And so thank you for that. And we also had a working group meeting today, an update with the MSBA for facilities for the new high school. So at the stage we are at in terms of our planning and our design and construction, the design team from SMMA presented to the MSBA. MSBA asked some clarifying questions, but reported that they had very few questions, and had thanked both the design team, the project management group, and the construction team for just really being on top of it, and things are progressing well here at the high school. The estimated time of completion, which is what everyone usually asks, the estimated time of completion is December. December
2026.
2026. It took me a minute. December 2026. So we will likely be moving in either December and or January. So we'll likely push in to 27. That will be the completion of the new building, which will then mean that they will have to put a fence around what is this building to demolish this site or this building and build a new Beasley Oval. But that's an update there. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Quick question. When are we expecting them to start fencing off the
April.
current Beasley track and field?
April.
Okay. Thank you.
You're certainly welcome.
So Walton, they played on it today? Or?
They did.
Oh, I'm so excited.
They did.
I went over to look at it Friday. Wasn't open yet.
Yeah, okay.
I was curious what it was going to look like.
It's like people were checking on it every day. There were like these little barriers up, and everyone would walk to the barriers.
Yeah, the barriers weren't really up.
Just peek around the corner, but it was great. Yeah, and again, the PTO over there, Laura Levada, is just, I think, have been just really great advocates for the work that's been done out there. So much appreciated.
I forgot where I was. Okay, student services.
So I'll speak because Eileen's not here tonight, Amy. So we met once back since our last meeting on the 29th of August. And one of the key items we're working on right now are potentially moving the high school start times later and looking at what the impact will be across the district and what options we have in moving the high school start time later. As we discussed at prior meetings here in the full group, we're one of the few districts in our group that is still starting school at 7-ish in the morning. Most of the other districts are well at 8 to 8:30. And we do have some unique challenges in our district because right now we only have 9 buses, and so we need to look at what those buses need for time in between schools and how changing things around will impact the pieces to see what that will mean. And so we will be meeting again on September 18th, and we'll hopefully have some bus data and other information available. Also looking at, is there any opportunity to bring additional buses online? Obviously that would have a cost to it, probably unlikely, but we want to keep every avenue open. And then Amy had put together all different types of proposals. Do we just swap times around, which is kind of undesirable because now you're having elementary kids start school at 7:30 in the morning.
but we're going to have to see how things go. We did look at some of the other districts and what they were doing, and I will say none of them have the exact same scenarios we have. Some of them have high schools and middle schools in the same exact location. They may have more buses to deal with. So I do think our situation is going to be unique, and it's not going to be like cookie cutter. We can say, oh, they did that, so why can't we do the same thing? And then I know that we were also looking to get feedback from some of the districts that had made changes recently to see kind of what went well, what didn't go well, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. There were a few other topics we were looking into. One of them had to do with caseloads for school psychologists versus adjustment counselors. There's kind of a difference in the way that's handled in the high school versus other schools, and in some ways creates kind of a backup, and just seeing what we can do to help in that area maybe in the future. And we also had a short discussion about the Bridge program, which helps students that are kind of returning from some type of extended absence.
Thank you. Oh, you have a question?
Can I ask a question in relation?
Okay.
For the early, the change in start times, I was wondering if other districts, and I know we talked about this last year, student policy, I was wondering if in other districts, because there's so many constituencies that are affected by this, have they created like a working group, like which would have like a school committee like maybe a couple school committee representatives and a few other like departments around town?
I think that might be in the next list of things to do.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
is create a working group,
Yeah.
right, and really start to discuss, how to problem solve and what the conflicts are.
Yeah.
Because there are the conflicts that are apparent, some of which have been brought up by Pete, and then there are other conflicts that are not really apparent that need to be brought up. One of them is, one of the constituencies that needs to be brought into this conversation are the faculty and staff,
Yeah.
right, who are also juggling family and drop off, and that's one of many challenges in the changing
Yeah.
of start times.
And I failed to mention the summary, but that is one of the areas we talked about. One that we didn't talk about was like traffic. So I mean, that's an area we didn't spend any time yet on. Is the traffic going to get better or worse as a result of what we did?
Yeah. So
Or
to
do.
answer your question, Kevin, are there working groups? The answer is yes, and I think that there are usually multiple working groups,
Yeah.
because I think that you'll have one group of constituents, and then another group would be traffic police in the town. The bus company would be a group that we would need to meet with. But there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, and I think, Pete alluded to this, but, you can ask like 9 or 10 districts what they did and how it all rolled out, but in the end, every district has something that's individual to it. So there's no solution, I would think, that would just apply to even 2 districts. Like there's always, which is why, like you get all the advice like from like every other superintendent and, parents from other towns. I've heard from parents from other towns. But in the end, yeah, I think you need a working group, people in town, handle the problems that are just in-house and kind of focus in.
And the reality is, Kevin, even if this rolls out and is awesome and you have all these high schoolers who are suddenly awake during the day versus exhausted, there's somebody who's going to be negatively impacted as a result of this change. Whether it's a teacher who's impacted by their time they have to drop their kid off or pick their kid up, or just a family who runs into an issue with getting to work on time as a result. So it's one of those things. I think it's about communication. We'll get feedback and just give as much notice as we can. And if there's areas where we are looking for input and making a decision, we'll ask for the input. And other areas we will kind of just give information and give people an opportunity to consume it and give us feedback.
Thank you.
Great.
Policy and communications, Kevin?
Yes, we met a couple weeks ago. So we talked again about the cell phone policy, and Dr. Lyons said that we have received a grant for cell phone pouches that would be implemented into the middle school. So I think that this is pretty exciting. Looking forward to hear, when this is implemented and how it's going to work out. But I think that in our subcommittee, we've been talking about cell phones and how they can have an impact on education, and really want to see, come up with craft a policy that is going to be effective to help improve educational outcomes, as well as mental health outcomes, specifically with our middle school students. We also talked a bit about communications and trying, still in discussion, but basically trying to come up with a discussion of standardization of a good, effective communication practices from staff to parents, teachers to parents. And we also talked a little bit, initiated really the conversation about homework policy and to what extent that should be standardized. So we have our next meeting, I believe it's next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and we will continue these conversations specifically about parent communication.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
We also talked, and at one of our summer meetings, just ahead of that, just about religious holidays.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we have Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur coming up. Rosh Hashanah is on Friday the 15th and ends on the 17th. Yom Kippur will be after that. But we communicated with faculty and staff earlier than we have in the past, and we're really trying to make sure that we are doing the best we can to let families know that we have a policy, and if they need an accommodation, that we are more than happy to work with students and families to support them in that space. So we talked about that in policy and communication, and I think we actually had some teachers join us to talk a little bit about that, and just really the need to make space for what are common holidays that we've had traditionally in the past, but also for the kind of the holidays that where, in terms of families that celebrate those, they might be kind of lesser in number. We still should be making space to really think about that. But and I appreciate that we were able to talk about that in the policy and communication subcommittee. So, am I missing anything there?
No, that's great.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Are there any liaison reports? No. The next school committee meeting will be Tuesday, September 26th at 7 o'clock. Our new start time is 7 o'clock. We have a full agenda.
We're probably going to have an executive session too.
Yeah, we'll have an executive session. Are there any, and then we also have Saturday, October 7th is a town day, and the school committee will have a table. And Thursday, October 28th at 7 is the tri-board meeting, which will be at WCAT.
Might be Zoom.
Oh,
right?
oh no, it's Galvin, sorry. I don't want everyone to show up here.
I think it might be happening via Zoom.
Oh, they changed it?
I think they might have changed it today.
Oh, I'm out of the
The
loop.
tri-board meeting.
That's what I was told.
I heard that too.
Yes.
Just today though. Just heard it.
So we'll clarify that in the next meeting.
Yeah, we have time.
Right, we
get a month.
have a month.
Just save
We'll
the date.
clarify it more than once.
Are there any, would anyone have an agenda item for a future meeting? If you don't, okay.
Yeah, so I was watching Town Council last night, because I'm a nerd. And so one thing came up is they were talking about vehicle idling policies. It came up, signs that were around the lake. And one thing that Councilor McLean had mentioned was that, and Councilor Vincent also said that there were, and they're not wrong, there's a Mass General law about no idling around schools.
Yeah.
Of our schools, there's only one school that has non-idling signs. And it's actually, it feels like it was a new construction posting, because what they say is it's a active loading zone, so don't sit there like parked with your engine running waiting for your kid kind of. No idling, it's an active loading zone. So based on the Mass General law, I don't know if this is just a Tim and a facilities thing, but if we are not in compliance with that, I'd like us to put us in compliance with that.
So adding a sign puts us in compliance, or just sending out an email?
We should have a
We
sign
have a
on.
policy on it. We have a no idling policy.
It was in the handbook, I read it, but the problem is, what Stephen is saying is that, usually there's signs posted at
Yeah.
schools because people don't know this.
So I think we can find out
Mhm.
and report in the next meeting.
Great.
whether it's a sign or no sign, and if signs need to be put up, then we'll put up signs.
There may be some extra signs, Stephen, we could have for free too.
That's true, at least 8.
The signs?
It's a long story, you have to watch the town council.
Yeah, so as a future agenda item, yeah.
So, all right, we want, I don't.
Yeah, just to be consistent between the schools.
Yep, and maybe we'll just review them. It's as a parent policy in the handbook, no idling.
So we could send it out when we put it on the agenda, then we could send a reminder to parents. That's all we can do is ask, right?
Great.
Thank you. Any other suggestions?
We have a tech update coming, right?
We have a tech update coming. We have YRBS data summary coming. We have a number of things coming. We have
We're gonna hear about the Galvin
PTO
pouches.
presidents coming. We're going to be hearing about meeting secondary new teachers. We're going to be hearing about cell phone pouches and cell phone policy. There's a lot of irons in the fire.
Great.
Yeah.
Busy fall.
Mhm.
Do any school committee members have any comments? Close out the meeting.
Oh, I maybe had one more. Could we work on school tours?
Excuse me?
Could we try and schedule school tours?
Absolutely, absolutely. We were talking about that in August. I think we might be.
Doesn't have to be right away. I know it's a busy time.
So I
but,
think we're going to be doing that in the fall, and I think we're going to be inviting town council as well.
Oh, great.
They can bring signs.
They could bring signs if they so wish, and so yeah.
So school tours. Something else popped in my head. Oh, just welcome back, everyone. This is our first meeting since the kids went back to school and teachers. I haven't had any complaints, so I'm thinking everything's just going swell. Right?
I'll add a comment that I wasn't
It has to be
going to say.
positive.
No, it is positive. My students have only had extremely positive things to say. I mean, they love their teachers, they're excited to be back, so hopefully other families and their kids are experiencing similar feelings to my kids. They're really enjoying their time back. I have one at the Doll Bear and 2 at the Galvin this year.
And we have 2 new Galvin students.
Yes.
Going well?
Yeah, it's as you talk about sort of the teacher bit and the student component, things like this blow me away because you hear kids, teachers that are brand new to the district. They're just starting and they are super bright eyed. It's amazing. It's fantastic to see. And my kids have had the effect of that brand new blood teacher that just lives and breathes it, and they love that. They thrive in that environment. I also have a student who has had the benefit of having 2 out of the 3 educators that have taught the longest in district, and to have them also exposed to that and still have that same level of energy and sort of that love for learning is amazing. It says so much about the district and community. It's stories like this always catch me, and so my kids psyched to be back in school.
My kids don't give me any feedback. So I asked them what they learned and how they did, and they say, nothing. Like my sorry, Sebastian. I asked him what he learned in science today. He goes, Dad, it's science. I learned science. I'm like, so what in science? Science is a big field. He goes, we learned observation. So that's what I'm getting. But no, I think no real complaints.
No,
Just,
not even the the difference in the cafeteria food?
No, nothing. No, that doesn't come
I
out.
heard the Galvin French fries are awesome.
Is there an
But
ice
no,
cream
not
machine?
joking.
And I'm having withdrawals. WPS withdrawals.
Yeah.
Probably a support group somewhere.
We could have an alumni night when they're on break in March. Bring some alum back.
That'd be great.
Tell us how you like college.
I just have one comment.
Yeah.
And I hate to be negative, but I've just seen a couple things in my pickup from the Dole Bear. I just want to implore the community that I know we have a lot of traffic. I know we have serious traffic around a lot of our elementary schools. but we have crossing guards who are like doing a really good job in trying to keep our kids safe. And I know that it's tense and there's traffic and when there's bad weather, you know, I get it. We all get it. But I just really just want to ask the community to be really patient and thoughtful when they're driving around schools. Really think about the crossing guards and make sure, you know, to treat them with respect. I think, you know, obviously all of our employees deserve to be met with respect, but yeah, I just want everyone to really be thoughtful, you know, especially in those situations.
Here, here.
That's it.
Yeah. We could keep talking. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
We do. Move that the school committee adjourn its meeting of Tuesday, September 12th, 2023.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone.